Hi everyone, it's Kirei here for Bramble Fox with another layout, and this time I'm using some of the goodies from the October Fox box. And the ones I'm using are the beautiful sort of cursive script Thankful and the October, the orange engraved October small banner. So I'm going with a bit of a Halloween theme here, actually. I don't usually have much from a Halloween perspective to be able to scrap. I don't have children, so don't have any of the sort of usual Halloween photos, but I do love a good Snapchat filter. So I took the opportunity to scrap a couple of fun photos that I have. So I'm just using a Halloween collection. It's an older one. I did hoard it. As I said, I don't tend to use much Halloween, so always tends to be a bit left over. I can't help but buy some of the fab papers. So I'm using a Pebbles collection from last year, and you can see I have 3 small black and white photos, Snapchat photos, with some sort of scary spiders and faces. So I'm having some fun with those. Okay, so I'm just going to cut some of the different pattern pieces paper so that I can layer them up behind the photo. And what you saw me doing just a moment ago, I was actually just cutting a frame because I rather like that paper and I thought it might be quite a good one to use as a frame later. So, and then on this one, I'm looking at the cutter parts and I'm just deciding what I can use to add embellishments. I was fiddling around there with my little cutting finger tip cutting knife, and the knife had come out, so resort to my other one. Okay, so I'm just going to take out a few of these and I'm going to fussy cut them out, just looking at things that would work, as I don't really have too many embellishments. So I'm going with that, and then I'm going to, what am I doing next? I'm trimming. I'm cutting out a piece to go behind the photos, and then I thought it needed sort of another colour, so I'm looking to see what I've got in the orange, and that little piece at the top there that's slightly torn, I'm just going to use that as another layer as well, because I just feel it needed something else behind the 2 pieces of black, that sort of scripted black and the pattern black. I cut off some of the words there because I think they'd be quite good to fussy cut out as well. And then I'm going to just distress all the edges, as I like to do, of the pattern papers to back my photos. It just adds that sort of extra texture and detail that I quite like, rather than it just being flat edges. So I'm just working out how they're going to layer up together here, just sort of playing around with the photos. And then I had this spotty tissue paper that I'd saved, and I thought that'd look quite nice behind. Again, add a different texture. So I've just pulled it out and I'm just folding it up into a couple of layers, and then I'm going to use that behind all of it. So just sort of trimming it down, working out, yeah, like that. So usually with the tissue paper, I do just like to stick the layers together as well, because otherwise they sort of seem to sort of flap around otherwise. So I got that right. And then, so just, here we go. I'm just sticking it together just there, just so it secures it. And I think the Herma gun has run out. Just taking a little bit of, tearing a little bit on the bottom edge, just so that it's not all so straight, and looking at how that looks again with the layers. I'm a bit indecisive. I always change things around. I come back to it a second time and then decide, actually, maybe it looked better this way. Anyway, just staple them together, and then I started to try and sort of ruffle up the edges. And then I actually decided, you know what, I'm just going to scrunch the whole piece of tissue paper up together to get a better sort of distressed effect. And I was really happy with how that looked. So I'm just going to get the photos mounted onto that as well. So I'm just cutting up some sticky backed foam and just using that at the top of each photo. And then the bottom edges will be just stuck flat. So just getting them into position here. There we go. So happy with that. And then I'm bringing the perspective on now, the two of them, the thankful and the October, and just making sure that thankful still sits nicely next to my photos. And again here I'm getting the photos stuck down onto the background. Again, just a bit of sticky foam at the top edge and flat at the bottom, making sure it's straight. Here we go, bringing out the T-square, can't possibly have anything wonky. Okay, so now I'm looking at the fussy cutting. So I'm going to cut around each of these sort of little cute sort of critters that are there. They're sort of little bats and pumpkins, etc. So I'm not going to let you watch all of it because it will take a little while. And here we go. There's all the fussy cutting done, and I'll play around with that and just work out where it goes. I'm going to have the October up there with 31, so October 31st. So I'm figuring out how that's going to sort of look and where it's going to sit. Adding in the words hocus pocus at the top. And then I'm just sort of doing a bit of a row of the little, those little fussy cut characters, and then layering down those words, and then getting in the thankful there as well. That does move around. I do actually change this a bit, as you'll see as we go through the process video. And the thankful on the black, I just felt like it needed a bit of a lift, so I was just looking at what it looked like on the striped paper. I had a sticker sheet here, not much left on it, but a few bits and pieces, so I am just adding a few more elements, again playing around with what they look like. So reasonably happy, I think, with what I've got there. Just distressing the edges of the hocus pocus before I stick that in. I'm going to get that, oops, glossy accents is a bit stuck. Going to get the October perspective stuck on there, and again making sure it's straight at the top, and then get the 31 stuck down as well. And then I think I move on a little bit, and the other pieces, around the photo are stuck down. Not all the words below are stuck down at this point in time, because I wasn't quite sure at the moment, because I'm going to have quite a long title. So I'm not just going to have thankful on there. I'm going to have thankful for a Halloween Snapchat filter. So I wasn't sure how the words all look down the side with the long title, so I do reduce that a little bit. So I've got the thankful stuck down onto the stripy paper, and I'm just trimming around that, and that'll just give it a help make it stand out from the background a little better, because it was sort of the dark. It's a dark grey. It's not completely black, actually, the word thankful, but it didn't stand out as much as I wanted it to. So I thought it'd look quite fun on the back, stuck down onto the stripy paper. So that's what I did. And then I distressed the edges of that. And then now I'm adding the rest of the title. So here we go. And I'm just pulling out, honestly, alphas from my stash that I've had for really quite a while. So there we go, sticking down the thankful, and then getting the other words on. So the little 4A. And then I've got I think it's a black shiny Halloween is going on now. And I'm going to use a mix of alphas, so I've got different fonts and colors going on, because I think it just looks a bit more interesting. So we've got Halloween, and then I've got this this is definitely a very Halloween alpha. It's orange, very sparkly alpha, and this is going to be Snapchat, and just sort of getting it set in position. I do have an exclamation mark there, but actually that comes off because I actually use another alpha here. So I'm going to use filter as my final word, and it's sort of a holographic silver, and just getting that on there, and then I'll add a exclamation mark at the end, and I will move that other exclamation mark I've got there. So there you go, that's gone. Unfortunately, cut off the rest of the video. Apologies about that, but really just added some journaling and got the words stuck down. You see all the close-ups there. Thanks for watching, everyone. I will see you in the next video.